Hi YouTube. Today we're going to be installing a new sight on a new style Colt Anaconda. And before we go any further, I'm going to show you that this Colt Anaconda does not have anything in it. It is safe for us to work on. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to show you, this is one of the shortcomings for the new Colt Anaconda and the new Colt Python line. It's got this really crappy sight on it that wiggles back and forth, and it takes some kind of stupid little Allen wrench to adjust it. And what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade it. So what we have here, we have a Wilson Combat rear sight, and there's the part number and everything. It will work for the Pythons or the Anacondas. And I have to let you know that it only works for the new style ones. This will not work on any of the old Colt revolvers like the old Colt Anacondas or the Colt Pythons. Only the new style, new release ones that came out after the year 2020. So I'm going to do my best to do this on camera, and I am not an expert gunsmith. I never claimed to be. I know enough to be dangerous, and I'm not a professional filmer here, but I'm going to do my very best. So what we're going to do first here, we're going to slide this out of the side, and we're going to take this, we're going to take a regular screwdriver here, and you're going to loosen the screw all the way. Just take it all the way out. So bear with me for 1 second. Just back it out. And once you do that, you can set that aside and the sight will come up. Now, the next thing, there's a lot of controversial people is tell you how to do this. I'm going to tell you how I do it. So you're going to lay this, you're going to sit this on a soft surface here, and this is important that you have the correct size here. This is going to be a 1/16 inch drift or punch or whatever you want to call it. So you have to have the exact size. If you start using the wrong size stuff on this stuff, you will get yourself in trouble. And this thing is put in with one little roll pin here. You're going to place this drift on the roll pin and take a gunsmith hammer and just gently tap it out. If you have the right size punch, it just comes right out. And it falls out the other side, and there's your roll pin. And after you do that, you're going to take this and you're just going to lift the side off of it, and there's a little spring here, and just lift that right out. And that sight is uninstalled. That's all there is to it. We're going to set all of this aside here, and we're going to see what we have in the Wilson Combat package here. Let's see, we're going to open this up. Wilson Combat makes some of the greatest stuff. What they do is out of this world. They find problems with stuff, they fix it, and then they manufacture it, and then they sell it to people like us. So inside this package, you have a Wilson Combat rear sight. This is a square notch battle sight. It's serrated on the end. And then you're going to have a new roll pin, a new screw, and a new spring. So, very simple. Seems that way. I do not recommend doing this yourself if you do not feel comfortable with this. Like I said, I'm not a gunsmith, but I know enough to be dangerous. So, we're going to look at the top of the revolver here. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little spring here. Well, no, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start this pin into this hole here. So I'm going to take this thing here and just gently start it in here. This is very tricky to do, but you take the soft side of the hammer, of the rubber side, and just tap until it just starts. So all you want to do is just start it in there. So basically, you have just the pin sticking out of it. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to drop the spring in the hole here. It just lays down flat inside this hole. And then we're going to take the sight, and you're going to line this little hole here up, right here on the side. You're going to line that up where the pin is. And it lines up. Just hold pressure on it. And you're going to take your hammer and you're just going to tap until it starts driving it in. So now it has started to drive it into it. And make sure you use the rubber end of this thing so you don't damage the revolver. And just tap until you get it flush. Once it's flush, it's all the way in. Now you can take very carefully your little punch here and just give it one more tap just to make sure it's all the way in. And that's all there is to it. And then you apply some pressure to it. Make sure your spring's lined up here correctly. And then you take your screw, insert it in here, and push down on the sight and tighten your screw down. And there it is. It's in there. And you'll notice with the Wilson Combat sight, the detents are very tactile, very positive. You hear it click, click, click. And there's your new sight, folks. It's that easy. If you're very careful, you can do a lot of the stuff yourself, and you don't need any kind of gunsmith work or anything. But there's your new sight. There's your sight picture on it, and it is very tight inside there. It doesn't wobble around like the factory one does, and you have a freshly installed Wilson Combat sight. But if you have any questions on how to do this, folks, I'm not an expert, but I've been around firearms a long time, and as long as you have the right tools, that's the most important thing. You can do a lot of this stuff yourself. Just don't be afraid to try stuff. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. Take it to a professional gunsmith. This is a pretty expensive gun here, a pretty expensive revolver, and you don't want to be messing it up. But anyway, folks, if you have any questions on it, feel free to ask, and I will answer it if I can. If I don't know the answer, I will find it for you. But thank you very much for watching my video, and you folks have a great day.